All right, guys, I've been working my tail off. I got a good one for you today. Big news I kind of talked about. I think it was May 7th. The two options, Daniels, Savaiinaea playing left or right. And then when we heard Savaiinaea talk about he was working on getting off his right foot, it made it clear that he was playing the left side, but we still weren't certain. So a tweet by Eric Smith about what Travis Wingfield was saying makes it pretty clear now he will be playing on the left side. So I'm going to break that down. There's pros, there's cons, but ultimately it kind of ties into what I was saying about emphasizing the run game, and I would dare say the inside run game, certainly the cutback on the outside zone. I think this was a run game move, but I'll break all that stuff down for you. Now, I've been doing the Twitter thing, trying to get into it because you got to. That's the way it is these days. Very magnanimous or nice of TD Finns Talk to invite me on Monday night at 7 p.m. I'm not sure if it's going to be a live or recording or whatever, but if it's a live, I'd really appreciate you coming by, supporting it, and maybe being some backup for me over there. But please, if you like TD or you don't like TD, it doesn't matter. This is football. Please just be reasonable. We both are going to have things right and wrong, but we're here to provide content. So please be very nice if you do show up, but please show up. Also, I'm going to go with Steve Malloy's channel with Greg Main, former pretty big time offensive lineman, smart guy. I like him a ton. And I'm going to do that Tuesday at 6:45 Central. That will be live, so please show up there and support both Steve, Greg, and I. Appreciate that. Guys, I'm working hard. You guys have been yelling at me for a long time to get my promotion skills going. I'm working on it. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, as long as you can view. It helps with the algorithm gods. Also to hear my full point, because I really try to flesh it out. And so, you guys have done a great job, and I really appreciate it. So help me out with that if you can. All right, so here's the tweet by Eric Smith. You can catch him at OL Coach Smith 63 on Twitter, and I think he's doing YouTube now. You can support him there. On yesterday's Drive Time podcast, Wingfield talked about Savaiinaea and Paul opening lanes for Jalen Wright. Sounds like Jonah is working on the left side. I said, because for many reasons, I'll cover here, this could be a big deal, and there's a reason for that. All right, so if you take a look over here, this quick graphic, you can see, I showed it before on the left side, we were ranked 32nd in all major metrics of offensive line. We were terrible in the run game. You can see this one over here. We had a 26.30 stuff grade percentage. The next guy up was Seattle Seahawks at 20.10. So we were over 6% getting stuffed more than the rest of the league. And this is huge. When you get stuffed, you are now off schedule. First down, second down, obviously third down. It puts you out of range to really try it again on fourth. Stuff rating, this percentage, is a massive piece of the puzzle. You've got to fix that. We've got to fix that. There's plenty of teams up there with 12%, 14%, 15%, 16%. We were almost 10% more. That's devastating. Now, I'm going to take it into a little bit more. I put this up on my Twitter. Come check me out there. I put in unique stuff. I bring in some of it here and some of it I don't. This is a chart. You saw the chart I did the other day, but I added another part in there. I think it's something I've been talking about. Not many people talk about. Pass rush mitigation. An offensive coordinator will call screens and play actions to support the offensive line if they don't feel like the protection's there. And it's a major reason why we have the least, by far, of true pass sets, which means our 5.5 guys are blocking. Everyone's going into routes. And you can see here, look at the purple line, how high it is. It's massive. But then you compound it with the time to throw, the blue line after that, Sacks, you can see they percolated in 23. But with all this, it's still very high. But then you go to the next one is Tua's pressure percentage. It drops a little bit, but despite the quick throw, all the pass rush mitigation, and then the last line, that orange line, lack of blitzing, least in the league, all this stuff with that pass rush mitigation restricts receivers and routes. Now, Mike, to show you quickly, look at Joe Burrow, who we know has a bad offensive line, but look at that pass rush mitigation. Crazy. And the time to throw did get faster, but look how low that is. That means he's got more receivers and routes. He's able to attack the secondary, and his blitz rate is like 26 to 30%. Last year, Tua's was 20. That means we are seeing stuff secondaries. So the run game for me in the A and B gap is the most critical way to offset this. Now, clearly, there's pros and cons. If you put Daniels on the left side, he can help Paul grow into his game. And you put Savaiinaea on the right side, he could be surrounded by Brewer and Jackson. And that's Tua is supposedly his blind side. But if you think about the rationales behind why we're doing this, you can see if Tua's blind side is the right side, you'll have Brewer, who can true pass set pretty well. Daniels, who's a vet, who can true pass set pretty well. Jackson, not so much, but those guys are vets, and you won't have, hopefully, too many breakdowns. Although Jackson does struggle at times. And so you would have your blind side protected, and then you would have Pharaoh Brown, you would have Paul and Savaiinaea to be able to move guys out. Now, it will look like this in some ways. Brown, who's a pretty good run blocker, tight end, big guy certainly. Paul, who can certainly move guys. And then Savaiinaea able to move these two defensive players out. It's going to change things in a lot of ways. As my guy, PJ Belmonte said, it's going to create a ripple effect. And so if they can move people, these three guys, two guys, it's going to force at very least, the leverage of the linebackers to come up, the DCs to focus on that run game, and that will open up things in the pass game. And so if Paul can move guys on his own, we know that. Savaiinaea can move guys on his own, or at least sometimes, and then you can get a crunching with Brown able to just destroy that DN with Paul, and then one of those guys getting to the second level. And then you got Jalen Wright behind them, or the new guy we draft, I always forget his name, big guy. You'll have yards before contact for these big guys to slam in there and pick up those yards and force leverage, force focus. Now, on a play action or RPO, if they're doing that and then you pass the football, you might only have 5 guys in the secondary, which is a lot different than what we see, or 6. And so this is a huge thing for us. Now, Brewer, he's not great at moving guys on his own. He tends to get stuck when the right guard struggles, when they double. But Daniels is not terrible. And so, A, Daniels might be able to move guys on his own and allow Brewer to get to the second level free. Or B, when they double, Brewer won't get stuck and he'll be able to get to the second level faster. Then Jackson, on the other side, he'll be away from play side, away from the point of attack. He struggles at inside zone, but he'll be able to kick the guy out. He can kind of do that, and it will be the easiest job of a bunch. And that's good for him. Now, outside zone, Savaiinaea can move very, very well. Paul's a big guy. You're not moving. You got to get around him. Then you got Brown. And now this might open up the cutback, especially if Brewer's getting to that second level and he can cap those linebackers. So from a run game perspective, this is the best situation. Now, last part, I want to talk about some film and then go over finally all the pros and cons. So here's some film to see what we saw last year. This is us against the Texans. Look at this. Linebacker, 6 yards off the ball. It's a dime, 5 versus 4. And watch the results. This is unacceptable. Unacceptable. Lamb won't be here, thank God. Now look at this. Linebackers, 6 and 7 yards off the ball. 12 personnel, 2 linebackers. Ingold, who's a fullback, H-back. And look at this. Yeah, you pick up a couple of yards, but that is definitely not going to change the defense. Against the Patriots, you can see here, 8 versus 6, 12 personnel versus nickel. This is a shame. This is a total eyesore. And you can see right here, nowhere. This has got to change. You cannot have this looking this way and expect to have any success in the NFL. Now, going over the final perspectives here. All right, so putting Savaiinaea there, the pro is creating run game that's enough to affect the leverage and the game plans of the DCs. If we do not do that, they're doomed. This team is doomed. It's been doomed for a while. I've talked about it, and now it's here. McDaniel mentioned it. So this is the most critical aspect, and I think this is why they're doing it. Specifically, some people might disagree, but I think because of the inside zone. You get 2 young guys that if they build chemistry and they're good, they're going to be here for the long haul. It creates a side of the ball that you don't have to focus on. It's something we could be happy about and build on for years to come. And again, like I said before, the vets will be on the blind side, making sure that pass protection doesn't have too many failures. The negatives, it could be protection issues. If you flipped it and you put Savaiinaea there, you could have protection issues, and maybe you'll have protection issues on the left side, but as a play caller, he can mitigate that with some tight ends and running backs. At least hey, I might have some pass protection breakdowns over here. Let me roll the protection over there. Let Tua be focused only on one side of the ball. Usually he was focused on every side except for Tehran. So that it's a negative, but it could be a positive because it allows the coach to call things up to protect the one area of weakness. You saw that before with Tehran. He blocked alone, and McDaniel was able to roll that protection. Now, that one negative side, it could be because Daniels, who's not practicing yet, coming off an Achilles, might not be ready early. And that would mean Eichenberg is starting. But that's a short-term problem, not a long-term, hopefully, because if Daniels plays well after a while or comes in there shortly, he's going to be a guy who'll be here this year and next year. If he plays well, we can keep him. So it is a short-term negative. But overall, guys, we've got to run the football. We've got to run inside. We've got to be more physical. And from the evaluation, what we're seeing for him to be on that left is they feel more comfortable with the pairing of Paul and Savaiinaea and maybe Farrell Brown in the outside zone and the inside zone. It's a run game concept. Now, Achane will benefit from this, but the outside zone, and this is why I'm focused on the inside zone, the rookie we got, I can't remember his name, it's terrible, Wright, they're really not going to they're going to struggle a little bit to that outside because of the speed factor, right? Gained extra 6 pounds, but he's fast. The cutback they could maybe do if you get it there, but we can't bank on that yet. And so I think the inside zone is the key, and it fits what we got at Ali something. It fits what we do have with 2/3 of our running back group. So this is why I think it's a possible good news, possibly very good news, but we have to see how it plays out. So this is going to be very, very interesting. Savaiinaea, his play is going to be a critical factor, obviously along with Paul, to this season. And what they do, pairing with Farrell Brown in the run game, along with the rest of the blocking unit and these backs, will determine if we can have that shocker or some nice victories, or having a big problem if everything breaks down and teams are playing that same leverage and we're not able to knock it out of them. So that's it, guys. Definitely please check me out with TD on Monday night at 7 p.m. and definitely check me out Tuesday night with Steve Malloy and Greg Main. I appreciate all you guys do. Hope you enjoyed. Curtis saying, be well, go Fins. Curtis out. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.